Hey guys, Dusty here. Today I wanted to review the HOKA Carbon X. I just did my first run in these shoes this morning. I did a 10K with a few efforts over road, track, and trail. And this isn't going to be an in-depth review, it's just going to be my initial thoughts after my first run in this shoe. And if you've ran in this shoe, especially if you've ran in this shoe and the Nike Next Percent or the Nike 4%, leave your comments down below. I'd love to know what you think of this shoe and the Nike. So first of all, this is the first carbon plated shoe that I've ever ran in, and as many of you know, carbon is all hyped up right now. And to go over some numbers on the Carbon X, my men's size 9 weighs in at 8.3 ounces. It has a 5mm drop, and I don't know the stack height offhand, but there's quite a bit of stack height. Plenty of cushion in this shoe, that's for sure. Now let's talk about the carbon plate in this shoe. So you can actually see it on the bottom here. And I believe the carbon plate in the Carbon X really helps reinforce what HOKA likes to call the meta rocker. So it kind of gives the shoe a rocker feel and kind of helps propel you forward like a fulcrum. Whereas I believe the carbon plate in the Nike 4%, its job is to help with energy transfer. So you load up that carbon plate and it helps spring you forward. Because of the carbon plate, this is an extremely stiff shoe. It's very hard to bend. And when I first put these shoes on, even before I stood up, I could tell that there was a pretty aggressive rocker feel to this. And when you do put them on and you stand up tall and start to lean forward, you definitely feel like you want to go forward. As far as fit, I'm usually a men's size 9. These men's size 9 fit me perfectly. Width was perfect. The upper is very breathable, very comfortable, as you'd expect. This shoe did feel very stable. The base of this shoe is obviously very wide, and when you compare that to, so this here is probably my favorite racing flat currently. This is the Asics Tarthruzil 6, and I think I would still prefer this shoe over the Carbon X when it comes to probably a 5K and a 10K. This shoe I think weighs 3 ounces less than the Carbon X, so way less shoe here, but you can see much narrower profile on the Asics than this Carbon X. So very comfy feeling shoe. I had no issues with the fit or comfort. It has a gusseted tongue. That didn't bother me one way or another. It has a loop at the back, so for you triathletes it could be handy. If you throw some speed laces in, you could probably get the shoe on very quickly. Now, how did it feel while I was running? It felt really good. It felt smooth. To be honest, after a few miles it felt kind of just like a normal shoe to me. It wasn't until I actually got to the track and started doing some hard laps that I started to really notice the rocker feel, but running at an easy pace, it felt kind of just like a normal running shoe to me. So what am I going to be using this shoe for? I'm not sure yet, but if after a few more runs, and I'll do more of an in-depth review, but I think the HOKA Carbon X might actually replace the On Cloud Flow for me as far as a half and full marathon race shoe. I'll probably do some tempo runs in it and even some interval training at the track. But this isn't going to be a shoe that I train heavily in, as I don't think it's going to be a super durable shoe. I haven't read any other reviews about the durability yet, but the outsole doesn't seem like it would last for too long. One thing I will mention about the run that I did this morning, I did do a little bit of trails, and I did get a rock stuck in the bottom, and I probably only ran like a 5-minute section of trail. So I would definitely avoid trails with this shoe. That's not what this shoe is intended for anyways. Now, as far as price goes, the Carbon X retails in at 225 Canadian, so it's still about $100 less expensive than the Nike 4% here in Canada, or the Nike Next Percent. And like I said, this is the first carbon plated shoe that I've ran in, and even though I haven't ran in the Nike Next Percent or the Nike 4%, I'm going to assume that this shoe is going to be a lot more approachable to the average runner than the Nike shoes are. Like I said, this felt like a normal shoe when I was doing my run. It wasn't until I started doing some faster pace stuff that I really started to notice the meta rocker for myself, and it really felt like I was propelling off the toe a lot smoother and a lot easier. So overall, I think the HOKA Carbon X is probably going to have a larger audience than the Nike shoes. I definitely want to get my hands on a pair of those Nike shoes, but I think my next carbon plated shoe is going to be the Asics Meta Racer, I believe. It doesn't come out till June 26th, but I'm going to get a pair on those as soon as they're available. But yeah, that's my initial thoughts of the HOKA Carbon X. I like it so far. It's a super comfy shoe for a shoe that's supposed to be really fast. I need to do a few more workouts in it before I give a detailed review. But if all goes well and I keep digging this shoe, it's probably going to be my half marathon and full marathon race shoe in not only standalone running races, but also in triathlons. So let me know down below in the comments if you have a HOKA Carbon X and what you think of it. I'm really curious to know. And if you liked the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe for more everything running, triathlon, and nutrition related.